You have selected shuffle.
Welcome to the Shuffle Pod. I'm Woody.
I'm DJ.
And I'm George. And this week we are talking, how long could you survive a zombie apocalypse with just what you have in your home? Because I want to find out if these other two are crazy, crazy homesteaders, basically.
I got my cans of peaches.
I love this idea, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
I
you
think
do.
it's fantastic.
Here are the rules for this show, okay? This is not banking on that you could run to the grocery store that's 3 miles down, okay? It's the very start of the zombie apocalypse with just what you have in your house right now. So go into your think
Mayhem
tank,
just hit.
and yes. And just go into your think tank and think about, okay, what kind of food do I have? What kind of weapons do I have? What kind of supplies do I have? You know, I got a tent. And I'm not ultimately going to just run out of my house to live in a fucking tent. All right? I'm hopefully
Right.
barricading myself in my house for a while. But how long could I actually survive? Okay? So let me kick it off real quick. Just off the top of your head, real quick, think, and just tell me how long without going for resupplies, and then we'll get into the logistics of it all. Woody, how long, right off the top of your head?
I'd say 2 months.
Okay, now
I bet you I got 2 solid months in this house before. As long as the electricity stayed on. Now, are we doing that?
No,
or
it wouldn't.
electricity
It
off?
wouldn't, man. The power company people are
Okay, how long do I
homesteading, too.
have until the power shuts off?
It's pretty fast, right? I mean, the coal burning power plants constantly need replenished. So what do you got? I don't even think it would be a full day, right? Probably a couple
Well,
hours.
we don't get our power from coal burning.
Yeah.
We get our power from Niagara. They supply the power for this whole area.
But Niagara needs their station manned.
Right, true. But I'm saying, like, if I've got a good 2 days of solid power, I have well. So
Oh, you're running
I'm-
water in
yeah, I'm
bathtubs
good with
and
water.
now
jugs.
that's
Right.
a really good point. That's a real good point because I'm on city water,
right.
and it's only a matter of time till zombies clog up Niagara Falls when they just start going. They're like in a barrel, like yay, and they just clog up the falls. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point, Woody, that I never would have actually thought of. DJ, are you well or are you city water where
City.
you're at?
I'm
Yeah,
city.
See, we're screwed.
It just
Yeah.
are we getting into the point yet where some of my neighbors are elderly and I own a box cutter, or are we waiting? We're gonna wait. We're just saying right now just what I can survive from.
Here's what we're going to take it. We're going to take it as far as it's time to leave the house, and now we have to go do something. Okay.
Oh, you wanna say? I'm curious to see, like, how long do you guys think that you can hold out in your own home?
That's
With
what I'm
only
saying.
your supplies. Okay.
With only your supplies.
Right.
So whether it's 3 weeks, it's a week, it's a day, or whatever, we're going to have to be honest right now without basically.
I was thinking a month, and then Woody's talked about the water situation, and the city water would pretty much stop. So it's whatever water I have. I mean, we got it. I'd like to think I have a little bit of water, but I mean, when you're
Well,
talking,
I actually have not only you have your hot water tank that's full of water, so
Yeah.
that's got however many gallons in it.
Right.
I also have like a holding thing inside the house that the well pumps it into that, so that's almost as much as a full hot water heater.
Right.
So even if I do lose power, I still have that. And if I can fill up the tubs, I have 2 full-size tubs. If I can fill those up before the power's out, I think I'm sitting pretty good for a couple months. Because food-wise, we've got the pantries all full, and
I don't
know.
think bathtub water is going to be safe to drink after a week.
No,
Yeah,
but
well-
you could clean yourself in it.
Oh no, you wouldn't want to do that.
no, you wouldn't want to waste it with that.
You need to drink.
It would be fine. Because there's nothing there to contaminate it.
Yeah,
it's not.
I guess. Except
Other
the
than
zombie virus. How does that spread? By the way?
OJAM. We don't know yet.
Okay, so it's just we turn on the news and it's just total chaos. Everyone's stations are turning off one by one because even the reporters don't want to be there, and the people manning the station just run home. So
Yep.
Right, and they're telling you to barricade yourself in your house for right now. Yeah, I've got plenty of wood. As far as out in the garage, I've got just stacks and stacks of 2x4s. I could board up the house, no problem. Lots of tools.
I could do that.
Yeah, I'm thinking the water is going to be your big thing. Like if you can keep that water supply going.
I'm trying to think of the amount of water I have. I guess it depends on if the weather. If it's hard rain for a few days, you can set something up in one of your windows and get a little bit of water there, enough to survive on.
Right. Now, I have a creek in my backyard. Oh. And I can say that I have water because I could boil it.
Yeah, you could.
How could you boil? Oh, I guess with fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, with wood. Yeah, absolutely. What about protection? Now, I mean, I think that's where I'm lacking. Like
condoms. I don't really.
For that, I'm rich. Yeah, I think the strongest thing I have in my house is a Nerf gun. Maybe no, I have that little T-ball bat.
I've got some baseball bats. I'd be kind of screwed with that too. I've got a BB gun.
Yeah, I got Nerf guns.
I wouldn't get too far with that.
Now I do. I have weapons, firearms in my house, and I've got, not a ton of ammunition, but I've got a surplus of ammunition also.
George is crazy.
And
enough to keep your food.
Yeah, for a little bit at least, until somebody with bigger guns comes to my house. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm a crazy homesteader guy that has, I got a basement full of, 500,000 rounds. I don't have that, but I have enough, that I could at least, at the minimum, saying I'm not getting in a firefight with somebody, I could hunt. For quite a while. I got tons of squirrels, so I could probably at some point learn to be quiet enough that I could stab a squirrel, because I've got a ton of I got a bunch of blades also. Being Greek and Irish, I've got a lot of knives in the house. So
see, that's one thing here that George and George has the abundance of. I'm a little bit better off than DJ, but all DJ's got's that damn cat, and he loves it way too much.
Yeah.
So there's no way he's killing that cat for fresh food. No.
He might eat me.
That's very well, yeah.
It would be a while till I would have to eat my dogs. Because, okay, all right, so let's say the power stayed on, hypothetically, for a week, okay? Because at first, we're going to go through the what the hell's happening phase, okay? Then the second part is, okay, now it's kind of like a survival phase. Like, holy crap, this isn't getting better. It's not, the power is just not coming out. And now I've actually got zombies walking down my street and stuff.
Okay.
So, all right, now we've already boiled water. We've already kind of saved up the amount of water that we can. But the grocery store's already been pillaged because, for some reason, we weren't bright enough to go to the grocery store, okay? All right. Okay. So now, based on with the food that you have in the house, how long? How much food?
A month
rations?
or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because you can actually even cook the rice. If your heat and everything went off, you could still cook your rice just by soaking the rice.
Yeah.
The rice and the beans. It takes hours, okay? But you can actually still do that. Now I've got enough plant foliage around my house that I could, have greens and stuff like that. I don't know. Can you actually eat grass from your yard?
I don't think there's any nutritional content.
Yeah. I was going to say, I got a ton of grass, too. Not weed. I don't have a lot of weed. Just let me go on record that.
In the stream, the little creek, you've got fish.
Well, have you ever seen those things, though?
Dude, you fish, so you could catch them. I mean, they might be tiny, but you could eat them in an emergency.
Tiny with sores. I pulled the little creek chub, and he's got like warts and stuff on the top of his head.
Hey, zombie apocalypse, and you're out of food. You're doing it.
Well, that's true, but they could already be zombie fish, actually.
Well,
so
you'd be on your last leg anyway.
I will not be going in the creek for any reason. No,
that might be how the apocalypse started. Somebody decided to eat one of those.
Like I'll get bit by one of those zombie creek chubs that are like, No, but I think like just with the rations, the food that I have in my house, because your meat's going to go bad once the electric goes out.
Not mine.
So now, yeah,
boom, vegetarian.
Your tofu can stay out for years. But my thing is I would have to cook up all my food and then have to like salt it and brine it and stuff so that I could cure the meat, so that it could actually be sustainable for a longer period of time.
Here's a question. Without the internet, could you actually do that?
I was just going to get to that point, and absolutely. My wife grew up on a farm. She knows all
yours,
about
yes, but I know you could. But George,
Yeah.
Could George? You could. Right now, with
I
what's
was a
in your
Cub
house, you
Scout
can do.
for about 3 weeks.
And they taught you how to can and dry meats.
You still wake up in cold sweats over Scoutmaster Larry.
He was like canteen boy. You know, no, I earned a special merit badge. Yeah, old Bukkake badge. No, okay, look. Full disclosure, I'm not sure that I would know how to salt the meats, but I could probably ask somebody, like, help me. I got a bunch of meat.
Who?
Hopefully my zombie neighbor is not a zombie.
That was my whole point. I could see by you were doing this, I could salt the meat, and you were making hand gestures. I could tell that you don't know how to salt meat.
No, don't you just soak it in a brine
I don't know.
until it cures?
I'd have to YouTube it, and that wouldn't be an option at that time.
Huh.
Maybe you should start some research on that in case it happens. Then you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
See, I've got probably 3 big cases of ramen noodles in my pantry, so
Yeah,
I'm good for. good for a
Woody's
month.
got tons of from his mother-in-law. He's got all kinds of food that she brings over. I don't know how long it would last without power because it's got to be
that's right.
frozen.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
all
that's
that pepper soup and
yeah.
but I don't know how long that would last because it's got to stay frozen.
Well, you would figure you would probably eat like a king for the first week, okay?
yeah.
Okay.
And then you'd have to discard that food. So but as far as rice and beans and canned foods and stuff, I have a lot of that in my house, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so I would say, like, realistically, if I never left my house, I could honestly say 3 weeks to a month. And that's not eating like a king every meal. You know,
Oh,
I'm
no,
not gonna
that's
be sitting
eating
there,
enough to
right.
survive.
you know, I'm definitely not gaining 10 pounds just from
No,
sitting in my
no.
house during an apocalypse. I mean, I've got tons of cereal, I've got breakfast bars, I've got Pop-Tart, all that
How
stuff.
low on food, George? You really love your dogs. Like, you're kind of an insane dog lover. How long would you have to be out of food to turn to one? He's just dead silent.
I
He's
tell you
about
what,
to start crying.
I was just thinking, I've got a wife and kid.
Right, that's my answer. Oh no, you're thinking of them instead.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, when it comes down to, like, if my kid is starting to, starting to fade from nutrition, the kid wins over the dog.
Well, that's what I'm saying with you. But you're a reasonable person, Woody. I'm talking to George because George really loves those dogs.
You realize we haven't even hit the 15-minute mark, and already you're pulling out the when are you going to eat your dog card, and I am now actually, like, I'm trying to drink coffee and my stomach is tying up a knot.
I'd eat Mr. Black. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, but I'd eat Mr. Black.
Full disclosure, I have 3 dogs, 2 of which I would eat before the one dog.
But you're not going to say those on the air, right?
No.
Well, they might be listening. The dogs.
I don't want to hurt their feelings, but there are 2 older dogs that I have that I would eat before this other
2 dogs
dog.
that he didn't just spend a ton of money on hip
Gotcha.
replacement surgery
Yeah.
for.
And I really, really, really there's a chance that I actually like this one dog more than certain family members that I have in my family. And it would be a long time till I would have to eat her. The other 2, it'd pretty much be free reign. I would, and I feel like a horrible
The
person
freezer hasn't even
saying
lost
this.
its chill yet.
I'm not
No,
saying you're going to feel good about it. I'm saying this is for survival.
Right. And it would be very hard, but I would probably have to at some point sack up and eat my 2 dogs, and then the 3rd dog, I don't know if her and I would just go to a room and starve to death together or whatever.
She'd eat you.
Well, she's a dog. And she has instincts that I don't have. I don't know. We could do probably a whole show on when would you eat your favorite dog, and I would be rendered to tears within probably 10 minutes of the show. I'd do that real, and then that would be the end of the podcast because I could never look at you 2 again. It would have to be. I would have to honestly be pretty doggone low on food. Before I did that to any of my dogs, but I love those pups. That'd be tough. Let's move on.
I could, being a vegetarian, meat is not appetizing. Like, it doesn't sound good or anything like that. But for survival, I could eat Mr. Black. I mean, I love my cat, but I mean, come on.
What?
I mean,
What do you mean? But come on.
It's
That
a cat. I mean, he's coming down right now. He's coming down the steps. I can hear him.
Yeah, I think I heard him. He's like, "You want to eat me?"
Yep,
He's
there
like,
he
"Bro,
is.
I heard you wanted to eat me."
Why don't you man up and try, bitch? How about you, Woody?
Oh, like I said, as soon as it came down to my dog or my kid, the dog goes.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing about that one for me.
I bet your wife would have a different story about the dog because she.
Yeah,
likes the
he'd go
dog
real
more than you.
fast.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that dog drives her nuts.
Oh, I thought she really liked it.
No, it really likes her, but she can. Oh
there's-
my
there's
gosh,
Mr.
there
Black.
he is. There's
Mr.
lunch.
Black.
That's Wednesday's dinner right there.
Go get the ketchup, Mr. Black.
Oh, get some hot sauce, and maybe a bed of rice. I would, serve it with a side of greens. It would be delicious.
His little bow tie would be on the top.
Yeah. No, eating my pets. If it came down to survival, in all reality, I would have to eat them. But man,
Yeah,
because
tough.
you're right. If times got tough, they would probably eat me. So
Yeah.
you know,
You're going to run out of dog food quicker than you have to eat your dog because
Well,
you're going to eat dog food over the dog.
Right. I don't know. That stuff's pretty nasty. If you
You're going to eat the dog food in a survival situation. You're talking you're completely out of food at that point. You're
Yeah.
down to dog food. That runs out. The dogs are starving, so. And that, again, I'm going to get into now what I said earlier. How many elderly people that probably don't listen to this podcast live by you? Because you could
a lot.
take
I
their
mean,
stuff. I mean,
or eat them.
or eat them, whatever.
I mean, could you honestly at some point
could I eat people?
turn to cannibalism?
Personally, I would think no, because I can't even stand the smell of bacon. But I guess if I'm dying, yeah, I probably could do it.
I could probably eat one of my neighbors before I ate my dogs.
Yeah.
Full disclosure. Sorry.
God, I hope they don't listen to the podcast.
I'd feed the neighbors to the dogs so they'd stay nice and healthy and, not eat us. Yeah.
That's a good point.
It would be like the Walking Dead, Terminus.
But if you have a neighbor, she's an older lady, and she's probably older people always have a ton of beans and rice and things like that put up in their pantry. You just, I don't want to sound too
You're not thinking
bad.
about this right, though. I mean, honestly, really think about how the situation would go down. You would think
George is dying laughing.
You would think that, like, you're assuming that any day now you're going to be saved. Any day now, the government's going to come in and haul you out of there. You do not want to take the chance of killing your neighbor and then the next day the government coming in.
You are not going to
"You're
get
saved."
tried for this.
You are assuming the DJ's not just waiting for the next power outage before he...
It sounds like it. It sounds like he has somebody in mind. He keeps saying there's an older lady. She's about 73 years old.
I don't
She
actually
lives by
have.
herself.
I don't actually have one. I'm just wondering if
First
there
name-
was one around. Wouldn't
First
you
name
go?
starts with an N. Last part of the name
Oh.
is Ansi.
all hypothetical. Yeah.
But
Nancy
tell me you wouldn't go to that
Robbins.
route. It's a survival of you and your family
I mean, right
or
off the
them.
rip. Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
think
not
the DJ
saying, oh my
also-
God, my power went out. I'm going to go murder my
Like,
neighbor.
boom. Hey, guy, I'll be right back. I just saw the transformer blow. And
I think when DJ goes to buy his next house, he's gonna he's gonna check around the neighborhood. see
Yeah,
how
I
many,
want an
you know,
older
no,
neighborhood.
he's going to assisted living. He's going to one of those
Yeah,
one of those senior
next
parks.
door, yeah.
He's just like, "Pfft, it's like a luau here, man. I
Like
got
a
food for
buffet."
days.
I think I'll have Mexican tonight.
I was just thinking that tonight, Korean.
Ooh, French. Sorry,
Ooh
Peter.
la la.
This has turned into from a zombie apocalypse to cannibalism.
What would it take for DJ to eat his neighbor? The vegetarian. That's why he's a
Well,
vegetarian.
but yeah, because I'm too tempted. Once I get
'Cause
that
it's
meat taste,
intention
it's not going
eat
to stop.
people. I mean, I'm almost to the point where I'm completely wigged out. Like, I feel okay saying it'd be a while till I ate my dogs because this guy's right. He's like, lights flicker. I've eaten 3 people so far. I mean, I can't use my bathtub for water because that's where the bodies are going. I mean, it's like this is great.
Oh God, the internet's out. Better go check on the neighbors.
Hey, I mean, you
I
laugh.
locked myself out of the house. Car's low on gas. I'll be back. I got to go eat this old lady. It's, I mean, I don't know.
I don't mean.
So you're saying that you would steal from the neighbors instead of starting a community? You would just completely.
I think when push comes to shove, the community thing's not going to happen. We're talking a month in and things aren't looking better.
Okay, but okay. All right, so we fast forward to a month in. We're all pretty much out of food, okay? You would not convene with the other people in your neighborhood to go, okay, guys, let's pool our resources?
I wouldn't trust them. I don't know them.
So you would just eat them?
I'd eat them. No.
I think he's assuming that they would eat him, so he doesn't trust them.
Yes.
Ooh, all right.
It's not that I'd eat them. Okay, when I keep saying, the elderly neighbors, I'm talking about make their stuff your stuff. George is dying.
I've always wanted to dress in an old woman's clothes and actually wear her skin. So I'm not saying I'd eat them. I would skin them and wear them. I mean, it's not getting any better. I mean, it's basically we know.
No, but they're gonna have tons of like dried food and things like that. So you just go get it. Is what I'm saying.
Hardtack candy.
Yeah,
They've got
tons
dishes
of yeah.
Toffee, a bunch of toffee. Ooh,
Prune juice.
I know this old lady. She's got a bunch of Werther's Originals.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. It's
those are my Werther's Originals now. That's what
Look at that fancy human hat. Oh, this is Nancy from down the street. Poor Nancy.
She's the one that gave me all the candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she wouldn't have had so many Werther's Originals, maybe she'd be living right now.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say how long. I guess you have to play it by ear because you might surprise yourself and you might last a couple months because you're not going to be eating, 3 meals a day and a bedtime snack. You're talking about
And that's
eating enough
another
to
thing
survive.
that George and I have on you. We have natural reserves.
I've got my own.
Survival. Yeah. And then I don't know. I mean, okay. So you would any of you of you two actually try to convene with the neighbors to set up something, or would you just completely overtake the neighborhood and all the resources are yours?
I'd have to play it by ear. Like, it all depends on what's going on outside. I mean, if it's safe enough to kind of get around a little bit and try and get with the neighbors, and I mean, there's some that I wouldn't even try to talk to them because it's like, I'm sure they've got guns pointed at their front door waiting for somebody to come and try to steal their
That's what
shit,
I was just going to say. The one I would try to convene with, I have a neighbor that he's an ex-chief of police, and his son's a police officer, and he lives there too. And they've got like a huge yard, and they've got a little tiny farm kind of thing going. So they've got tons of guns, and they're probably a lot more survivalist than I am. Yeah. So I better go try to make friends with them on day one. Otherwise, it's going to get real shady.
Yeah, they're going to eat you.
I'm going to end up on their freaking kitchen table. So,
yep.
See, I don't know, because I think one of the things that we're not actually thinking of is other people moving into your neighborhood and taking over the old
like
people
ISIS
and everything else. Well, yeah. I mean, I would talk with Trump because he knows more about ISIS than the generals.
Yeah.
So, not to get all political. And no, but my thing is now we're actually not even thinking of defending our own homes. That's why we can't vote for Clinton. She's going to take our guns. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. At this stage of the game, with this podcast, who knows who's president? But
by the time this airs, it's going to be over. So
yeah.
All right, how about this, guys? It's
Thanks,
time to
Obama.
bug out. It's time to bug out.
Oh, I'm in
Okay.
trouble.
What do you got as far as resources and like? I mean, I know that Kia Soul's not that I've got's not going over.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, there's no 4-wheel drive in that bad boy.
Do you take both of your cars? We all have 2 cars.
Yeah.
Do you take
both of them? No,
No.
you take the gas out of the one,
Absolutely.
and you take the essentials, and stuff, and anything that could be used, you take
like,
that
like,
out.
like you said, you've got a tent. I've got a tent. I know I packed that and as many blankets and stuff as I could, and all the food and water that I could get away with packing in the back of that thing.
Yep.
Then
Like, I have a
you
van-
tie bags to the top.
Right.
With
right. I have a
non-essential
van
things.
and a little Kia Soul, but the
You'd
van's
have
really
to,
old.
You'd have to take
and
the Soul.
I would have to take Soul. Yeah, it's in a lot better condition. I mean, it's gonna last. Where would you go? Where? Now this is to say that there's been no word from anybody else. You don't see anybody else around. The only other things moving out there is animals and zombies.
You're not fighting traffic. You're not fighting
Right.
traffic jams at this point because
Where would you go?
I can't say. I can't say because then you people would go to where I'm going to go.
He would go to the neighbors.
You go to Florida because there's so many old people down there.
Yeah.
I could live like a king.
It's just like. First off, I would go to the Red Hot factory, and I would get all the hot sauce that I could get. Then I'd go to Kingston and buy all their charcoal. Then I'd eat like crazy. I'd get a 55-gallon drum. I'd cut it in half. I'd be serving people. I don't know. No, I would probably go to like mountains.
You think the mountains?
So
Yeah. I don't think zombies could climb mountains very well. I mean, I can't.
So like
either.
you're gonna go to like from here, you're gonna get in the car and drive.
You going to Appalachians, Rocky?
Yeah, that's Appalachians.
I have no idea where
Okay.
mountains are.
I'm going to go to the Appalachians, a little farther south, like North Carolina, kind of Virginia area, down in there.
So you don't have to deal with winter.
Well, yeah, the winter. I mean, could you imagine being in the mountains in the winter? I mean, you couldn't survive that. Not with lots of old people.
But I'd have a pretty good beard going. So I'd look like a mountain man.
Yeah, but your daughter and wife wouldn't have the beard.
True. That's true.
Unless they fashioned it out of the dog hair.
Oh, by this time you think I've eaten my dogs.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
gone.
oh, yeah, by
you're not
far,
taking
yeah.
you're not bugging out with the dogs.
I might.
Three
They
dogs
like
in there.
They like car rides.
You've got the SUV, right?
What? No, I don't. I actually have the Honda Accord and the Nissan
And the
Altima.
Nissan.
Yeah. 'cause
Which one would
Yeah,
you take?
so-
I would have to take the Honda because it's bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
And-
You
and
got to fit
newer.
as much stuff in there and on top of it as you can.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I think I might have a little advantage of. Truck driver. I know a million warehouses that is just stocked full of food.
Oh.
And I know the roads. I know how to get to where I need to go.
He knows where he can go get illicit sex.
Yes, yeah. I could be eating lot lizards. I mean, just...
That's great.
I'd chum for him. And like tiny deer, they just walk up to the cab and they look around and all of a sudden snatch them like a box
Mine.
spider. No, I don't know. I would hopefully at some point try to get a hold of people that I would trust and we could all convene, or would you guys just kind of run out on your own?
I would try to find. If you head out of your house and you just don't see anybody, as long as I'm having no problem outrunning these zombies or whatever, then yeah, I might run down and check on you guys to see if you're still alive and you want to, figure something out together. But I mean, if I'm running for my life,
Right, yeah.
Then-
and there's
then
no
it's-
communication. You don't know.
Right.
At that point, you're not bugging out for at least a week, but realistically, it's probably more like a month with no cell communication, no phone call, no email. So you don't even know if we're still alive. You're not coming down to check on
Right.
us. It's not realistic.
like I said, if it was easy enough to do it, yeah, like if I can get around without worrying about it.
So
yeah,
after
like they're not gonna outrun a car.
So you're saying they're not World War Z zombies that are super fast and running.
Well,
These are
we
like
don't know.
Yeah, but realistically, if this kind of thing were to happen, it would be like they'd be super slow and
Yeah.
sluggish. They're not going to be running freaking like Usain Bolt.
Thank God we're not in Jamaica because if he was a zombie, he would still probably outrun me.
Yeah.
But no, I think after the show, when we're off air, we'll coordinate something if something like this happens where we could meet up.
We'll call it Plan Z.
Plan Z. So, no, I think this is actually a good time where people have been listening. We're about a half hour into the show, and just to remind them, we have a forum on theshufflepod.com, and we want to hear from you guys on that. The website's been going really, really good, by the way. I noticed.
Yeah, let us know how long you would take before you would eat your animal.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
your
I
neighbor.
would. Or your neighbor. It's basically, the poll question would be the next power outage, or would it have to be an actual apocalypse before DJ would eat his neighbors? No, I think I don't know.
Or just lost cell phone service for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, And his wife's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, he has a leg. She's like, they turned it off. I forgot to pay the bill. He's like,
Oh, shit.
oh God. Feed the rest of this to the Mr. Pickles or whatever your cat's name is.
Mr. Black.
Pickle.
Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Black business cat.
Ooh, very regal.
Yeah.
All right, now, let's be completely 100% realistic.
Okay.
Okay.
We're saying a month. I say when push comes to shove, I would probably panic and not make it that long.
Not make it that long as in what? You're going to off yourself or you're just going to have a panic attack and have a heart attack?
Would you actually, at some point, either try to survive it and get eaten or just completely ride the steel? Boom.
I don't know how I would. Well, I guess you could find a way. I think what would happen with me, I'm extremely impatient.
So am I.
I think it's something, I want something and I go get it that day. I'm super impatient. So I don't think I could sit there and wait it out for a month. I think I would try. I would try to come up with my plan and I'd hit the road really fast. Like I'd like to think I could like stick it out at home for as long as I could, but I don't think I would. I think
because
I would hit the road.
I don't think any of our homes per se is the best. I would like if something would legitimately happen. I legitimately think I would pack up all the resources that I could at that time and head out and try to find something instead of sitting on my hands at my house. That's how I feel, honestly.
I know what you're saying, but if you really, think about how things actually truly go down in the world. There's gonna be news announcements, and they're gonna say, just stay where you're at. Hold up.
But those news announcements, if this really happened, are gonna stop instantly because people aren't gonna go to work and man the stations. You're not gonna have any type of news.
No, they have emergency bands that play, not at like Q92 or whatever. It's on the AM band, and it would just be on the loop.
The government can take over the FM bands at any time.
Right.
They have those emergency broadcast systems and that. So you're going to hear messages about stay in your home. There'll be someone around to help you.
Yeah, but that would go
This is an emergency.
That would make you go insane if you're hearing the emergency loop all the time. Like every time you turn on your radio, you always hear the same thing. That would even make my anxiety go worse. Have you guys ever seen the? I can't remember exactly what it is, but I will look it up and put it on Facebook. The end of the world broadcast for CNN. It's insane. They actually made, I believe it was in the 80s, in case the world is going to end, they will put this on CNN, and it's bizarre. It's bizarre as hell. I think Ted Turner at the time, it was his idea, and he had it made. It's just really weird. I can't even go into it right now because I'd have to look it up again. But I remember it being very weird, like with marching bands playing. I do remember
you telling me. Yeah. You remember you telling me about this, and it was like real serene and calm.
Right, calming, and it was like scenery and like I said, marching bands playing a song, and it's really strange.
So, but then Rocky IV comes out. Rocky beats the Russian.
Yes.
Ted Turner goes, you know what? We don't need this.
We're
good. We're good.
We're good, people. Air this in Russia.
Do you think you would last longer with your family or without your family?
Without, of course.
You think so?
Of course. It's easier to survive by yourself.
Yeah, but then you got nothing to survive for.
That's a really good point.
No,
that's
myself.
a really good point.
You're saying, bite
me.
Eating, you're talking about like how long would it take for you to eat lead? Well, if my kid's there, it's not going to happen because I'm not going to kill him.
I don't think I'd kill myself though. I don't think I'd kill myself. I would try. I'm too impatient to sit at home though. I think the family ultimately would be
eaten. I'm sorry, edit that part out.
No, I think ultimately it would slow you down because you could survive longer on your. I'm splitting stuff up between 4 people now instead of just myself. The water, which is like the key thing, is the water. Now split it 4 instead of 1. You can get farther in the car because you get better mileage. It's everything. Everything is easier to survive by yourself. I can see where you would think you'd lose the will. I get that.
Yeah.
Just tactically, I'd say 1 person is much easier.
I don't know. I don't think it would be that hard to find food and stuff. It all depends on like how much of the population's already gone.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of empty houses and houses with old people.
Right. Yeah, there's the zombies are out walking around, so they're not in their old house. You got all of that. I think if you had somebody to live for, you would make less rash decisions. I think your head would be more in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see that. I don't know. I mean, for me, definitely. I mean, all kidding aside, I would rather be with my family.
Me too.
And I would rather stick it out as long as I could with my family. Reality of it is I'd probably end up dead before them, just based on the fact that I would make sure that they were taken care of.
Right,
more
you'd be the
than-
one
than
taking the
myself.
chances and things like that. Yeah,
I mean, it's because it always is your family first and stuff.
Right.
And so then my needs become insignificant at that time.
Right.
And let me just say that this is the most uplifting show we've ever done. This is, it's almost as sad as when Woody found out that Michael Landon was a pedophile for 30 seconds, and it was actually the other guy. But he
Stephen
was like,
Collins.
Yeah, he's like, Little House on the Prairie. Yeah, no, it's. We were actually listening to that show yesterday. Okay, at the time of this recording, yesterday we listened to the show. My wife was like shouting, that's blah, 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 the whole thing. She was correcting everything and stuff. So it was fun. And I told her, I said, research isn't really big on our part.
No, it's
so-
not at all. And when you're listening to it later,
Yeah,
but
it's easy to correct it because we get a lot wrong.
We have that button on the webpage. Tell us what we got wrong. And so we obviously have got nothing wrong because nobody
right.
has emailed us with any corrections.
Right.
So
And that's
so far
correct.
we're batting 1,000.
As long as we're saying it, it's true.
Exactly.
I heard that it was not Beyonce fighting with Elton John. It's actually Madonna fighting with Elton John. That was corrected yesterday.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm referencing the Gentle Ben versus Flipper episode. I believe DJ pitted Beyonce versus Elton John because they're feuding.
Woody did. No. I think Woody just did it. Not because they're feuding, just because he picked two random singers that were just crazy.
Yeah,
right?
I have no idea. Pop culture. They're fighting. I had no idea.
No, they're not. My wife Googled it, and there is no reference to Beyonce fighting because DJ, at one point you were like, yeah, and you said something about hair, and that's part of a lyric from her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually not about Elton John. Madonna was fighting with Elton John.
Oh my God! This is.
So, just so you guys know,
She doesn't
Just throw
say
it out
Elton
there.
with the good hair. She
Yeah,
says
okay.
I can't. It's a girl's name with the good hair. It's referencing somebody that Jay-Z apparently slept with.
Becky.
Becky with the good hair. That's what it is. And
Wow, I pulled that right out of my
How
ass.
did you do
Because he's part gangster.
There's no way he pulled that out of his ass because that really is the name.
No, I mean I didn't guess it, but I've heard it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he pulled it. He pulled it out straight off the frontal lobe of his brain. He's like, Becky.
Becky has good hair. It's Becky with the good hair.
Yeah, so I definitely. But anyways, yeah, we got a lot wrong in the stuff, and I actually. So part of me was like, man, chalk this up in the memory bank. Don't listen to the episodes with my wife because she was,
Well, we
especially like the Mark Twain and
Samuel Clemens.
yeah, she was like, seriously, you didn't know that? I said,
Well,
no, I really didn't know
Your
that.
wife's like smarter than the three of us put together.
Well, and then I guess I referenced of Mice and Men, and she's like, he didn't
Yeah.
even write that.
No.
Well, do
he
you know
absolutely
why
didn't
I
write
know?
that.
Do you know why I know that Samuel Clemens and Mark Twain are
Was
the
it
same
on
person?
South Park or something?
No, even worse. And Woody's going to know this in a second. It's from the episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Time Zero.
Yep.
Isn't it
That's-
crazy
That's
how-
terrible,
how-
but it's true.
Isn't it crazy though how many things we learn from the stuff we watch as far
Yeah.
as for entertainment?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Just finished Star Trek: The Next Generation. As a matter of fact, finished all
great
7
show.
seasons of it. I still like Star Wars better.
Yeah, and we are definitely
kid show.
doing a Star Wars versus Star Trek battle
Yeah, at
coming
some
up
point.
here. I think in possibly season 2, and we'll give it a lot of play so people can weigh in, and stuff too. So I would say that I think there are probably more Star Wars fans out there than Star Trek fans.
Oh, I
I'm just
agree.
saying.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because people grew up on Star Wars and kept liking it as adults because they
Right.
grew up on it because it's geared towards children.
Oh my!
It is. It's a kids movie.
You son of a bitch.
It is not a kids movie.
It's not.
How old were you when you watched it?
I was 8.
Yeah, probably about
Okay, then.
7 or 8.
Did your dad like it?
No.
Okay, then. It was geared towards children.
Oh my! Well, you're talking about my dad though. That's a completely different story.
His dad doesn't like anything.
That's true.
Yeah, he doesn't like me.
He probably thought
Just
Star
kidding.
Wars
That
was
was
just
a joke.
fine.
I'm gonna have to cut that out.
He probably thought Star Wars was just fine, but you liked it, so he didn't want to show interest.
No, I don't know. All right, back on to I'm dialing us back in to the zombie. All right, so
zombie
we've
apocalypse.
bugged out.
And you're headed
And
south. That's probably a pretty good
South
idea.
is the only way to go from Ohio because you're not driving into potential winter weather. Even if it's in the summer, you're talking long-term survival.
Here's the thing, though. I think I might head north just for the fact that everybody else is going to be heading south. And once the winter hits, those zombies aren't going to be moving around much. They're going to be frozen solid. And there's plenty of houses to break into and, you know.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah, you're right. At that point, everyone is going to be, completely abandoned north. There's going to be plenty of trees. There's plenty of people's garages with axes and stuff to chop down trees. Yeah, you could survive a long time in like a whole abandoned neighborhood.
See, here's my thing then, and you two are not wrong, okay, as far as how you're doing it. I find myself keep thinking that I would try to find a group, and I would probably end up dead, okay, but for me, and I don't know, maybe this is just evidence of people are wired different. I would need to find a group of people so that we could build and survive.
I've
Where
seen
you
too
guys,
many movies.
Well, you guys, no, and I mean, for whatever reason or not, and I think this is actually kind of compelling, thinking about it. I don't like being by myself at all. I like being with people. I have to be with people. And
George, I think you're absolutely right about this, but at the very beginning, I'd say even the first full year, people are going to be going crazy. They're going to be those preppers and bug out people that they're going to shoot every single person they see.
Right.
Because they're worried that they're going to take something from them. If you can hold out for about a year, so let us all calm down.
Then people can start meeting up.
Right, then people are going to start wanting to get back together and form communities and stuff.
Well,
I say stay away from as many people as you can for the first solid year, and that's why I say go north and don't go south.
But then also, though, I think you're underestimating I don't know, and maybe this is just me being naive, but I think with that attitude and that thinking is you're kind of almost underestimating the good in people. And I still guess that I still look at, maybe naively, but I would say that because I would help somebody if
I would say
if
most
need be.
people are good. I've always said that. Most people are good with a few bad apples. But as
You're
far
right.
as a zombie apocalypse, I think you got to stick by yourself for 6 months.
Look
to
at
a
this
year.
situation. Okay, there was that lady that they had some state. I can't remember what state it was, but they had, concealed carry was permitted and all that. Some guy was shoplifting, and she shot at him as he was running out of the
That was
store.
Michigan,
She,
yeah.
Michigan.
Right.
She didn't work for the store or anything like that.
Just a person.
So
and she
it's-
missed and hit a car across the street.
Okay.
Right. So stuff like that's going to happen. I'm not going to take that chance
Right.
with
There's a
my
lot of
wife and my
stupid
son.
people.
Yeah, of people that have been waiting for something to happen so they could pull out their gun and shoot another person.
Okay, that yes, and I get that side of the equation. I definitely do. I 100%. But I will counter argue. How many times does that happen compared to when people are shoplifting that don't get shot at?
No,
See, that's
but,
the thing.
But in the zombie
but why-
apocalypse, people are on
Right.
red line.
Things are ramped up, and why
Yes.
take that chance with your wife and your child?
And if the situation was real, I would probably think different. You're right. You're correct. I would want to help people. I'd want to take people in and stuff too. That's
To eat
just,
them.
Well, if they're old, yeah.
No, I see. You got a point there. If you see somebody who's in trouble by themselves,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
then you take them in.
Then I'd feel real bad about driving by them.
Okay, but then if using that philosophy, you're automatically building a community.
Right, you're absolutely right. You're building the community. You're not
Exactly.
stepping into somebody else's community.
Okay, so I
You
could actually,
are the cult leader.
Okay,
you
so
are.
I could actually get behind that then. If you guys are
Yeah.
saying if you see someone in need, You help
Yeah,
them.
I'm not going to turn them
and
down.
You
no.
bring them in, and then they can help with their resources and everything
Yeah.
else. Now, the
Right.
other side of the equation is, well, what happens if they try to eat you in your sleep? Well, that happens, you know? I mean, I could get the rickets tomorrow. You know, it just happens. The rickets.
But I'm
Those
not. I'm not
rickets
teaming up with
again.
anyone, even people I see that are in trouble for the first little while. It's just like what he said. I have to stick this out for a while and let the crazy people kill each other off before I go down in there and join the communities.
You know, I might have a hard time passing up somebody who's in real trouble on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Same here. And that's my thing. And then I kind of like the fact that DJ referenced that then you're the leader of the community, you know, and you can
You're
instill,
Eron Hubbard.
you could instill your disciplines and
L.
your
Ron Hubbard.
your
Sorry,
way
I
of
did it.
thinking.
I said Eron.
Eron.
Elron.
Ron.
Eron's from the Riley Martin. show.
Eron's the less popular. He writes a bunch of exploitation.
Woody and I met Eron from Riley Martin.
Yeah, from the Riley Martin show. Yep.
So, but yeah, man, I really think I could get behind being the leader of the community instead of joining a
Yeah.
community, because then it's a situation that I know that hopefully I would have a little more control over. And in that respect, I would probably run out on my own, help out who I could, and then if they're interested, they could join me, but they'd have to contribute, or they'd honestly they'd
And
have to
follow
get killed
your
off.
rules.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so
Welcome
we're a
to
year-
Georgetopia.
We're a year into it now. Let's flash forward. You're
Okay.
a year into it. You've learned things that you don't know now, okay? Survival and everything else.
Salting meats.
The line I would eat my neighbor at.
You found a person on the side of the street that's a canner, okay? That knows how to can and salt meats. They taught you that skill. And now a year into it.
This is like the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Hopefully you haven't died of dysentery
Right,
by now.
Right. It's so you're a year into it. You have your way of living now. There is no hope that anything's going back. What do you do? Because you
think-
can't run forever, right?
That's when you form the community.
And you start to rebuild.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you figure out how to like set up a, I don't know, maybe walkie-talkie, like some kind of radio signal saying this is where I'm at. If you wanna, want somewhere safe, and come on over, and you start to rebuild your own community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get
And then-
our blue snowball mics on our laptops and we put it out
Do a
there in the shuffle
podcast.
pod. Yeah, we just
Yeah,
do.
That's right.
A little generator with a bicycle.
Yeah.
Our kids could be
Our
sitting there
coconut.
racing
coconut
up on a bicycle.
radios.
No,
yeah,
I-
coconut radio.
Make a battery out of a potato.
There you go.
There you go. Charge my laptop up with it. No, I think at that point you try to rebuild. I don't know how since we have no skills.
No, but I think you would come across people that would have skills and stuff, and you could,
Right.
I'm not saying I'd be the, exalted leader that would sit on an iron throne and just, and eat, chicken legs the whole time, but I think once you've built a sense of community, then I think the bottom line is then automatically, you want to bring things back to as normal as what you
Right,
could.
and you're not talking about you have to build houses because at this point, after a year and a half, even 2 years
Right.
of this chaos, it's going to settle down.
Right.
And there is
Right.
every house that you drive by is basically going to be empty. So you just
Yeah.
move into one. You just break
So
it in.
your best bet would be to find an island not too far offshore, with a small community of houses on it, and just set up shop there because an island's going to protect you from
Where though? I mean, where would you go? You're talking
Oh
up
my
in
gosh,
New
there's
England.
tons of islands. Yeah, New England all the way down
then you're
to
dealing with winters.
Florida. Yeah, but it's all the way down to Florida. I mean, there's islands everywhere.
Okay.
There was a man from Nantucket who. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah. All right. So, you would start a community on an island?
I think so. I think I'd try and find an island and make runs into the mainland. when
You know
they
what
need
I'd
to
be afraid of with the island?
What?
I'd be afraid of, okay, it's been 2 years. I just survived hell. I just found a boat, and there's an island over there. It's 5 miles offshore. I'm going to go out there. There's pretty good odds that you're not the first one to think of that, and you're going to get shot on your approach.
There's a lot of islands, though.
There is.
Woody
There's a lot
would
of
find-
preppers.
Woody would find, like, the regular island, live off of fish and fresh water from the lake.
Yeah, that's one thing you'd need to do. You need to make sure it had fresh water.
It would be
Yeah.
fresh until the zombies would go into the lake and contaminate it.
Yeah.
because zombies can live underwater.
Can they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, they can.
Oh, okay. I don't watch
okay.
a lot of zombie movies. I mean,
Yeah,
I
no.
know
During-
the basics about them, but
You watch the Walking Dead,
no.
and these are the style zombies that we're talking about, I guess, because they're not World War Z fast zombies.
Yeah.
They
Sluggish.
actually live underwater. Yeah.
Live underwater.
Yeah.
Now, how do you kill the Walking Dead zombies?
You got in the head. Yeah.
So zombies are always in the head. So we don't know in real life, though, if that were to really, the zombie apocalypse would happen. Is the headshot a real thing? They're already dead. I mean,
Yeah, but muscles can't just move on
Right.
their own. They need
so
some
it's
kind
going
of-
after the brain.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so you got to go to the head.
Okay.
All right.
I can get on
So,
board with that.
If you've survived a year in the zombie apocalypse, congratulations. There's a good chance that you're going to continue to survive. If you haven't survived the year, there's no shame in that game either.
No.
You gave it your best. And you're a
Realistically,
zombie.
I'm in the second part of that. I'm not surviving that year.
Just stay away from malls. I mean, because that's where they always end up, and that's where they always,
Oh, is that a
And-
thing in the movies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they love Hot Topic. And Cinnabon. So, and then as a PSA to any people over the age of 55 that may stumble upon our podcast, stay away from DJ.
Yeah,
He will
don't
eat you.
move in by me.
So, but I think we pretty much covered everything, right?
Yeah, I think that covers it.
I think I might go to the store today and just buy some gallons of water.
Yeah.
And some Metamucil
Yeah, and yeah,
to set some traps.
plenty of hot sauce.
All right.
That old
I like
stringy
it.
meat.
I think this was probably not like the most uplifting show, like, because we touched on when I would eat my dogs, and I'm still kind of bothered by that. But I think it was a good show, and I liked it. And I just definitely want to remind people, check us out on our website, theshufflepod.com. That there you can hit up the forum, see the gallery. Maybe we'll post a couple post-apocalyptic pictures of us in survival mode on that. I don't know. And but then you can get all the shows and stuff, so you guys don't have to keep searching on iTunes and all that.
But you
just
can.
go to you can. I mean, but it's your one-stop shop for everything ShufflePod.
And feel free to rate and review us on iTunes.
Yes, we need
a
those.
nice
Those
little
are
bump from that.
Huge.
Yeah, and that forum on the website, you can ask us all a question. You can ask individual questions, to each one of us. We're always checking it. Always checking out to see if you guys have responded to anything on there. So feel free to hit us up, and we will get back to you on that right away.
Yeah. I mean, like literally right away, because I pretty much live on the site, and I'm like, somebody write us, and nobody does. It's kind of like we're in our own little zombie apocalypse as far as the communication goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been real quiet out there, guys.
We'll survive this.
Maybe we'll have to give out a bug out bag or something.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea.
Some stickers in it.
Actually, that's what we could call our swag stuff. Our bug
Bug
out
out
kit.
bags.
Yep.
Yeah, that works.
I like it.
But all that can be found on theshufflepod.com. Go there for any of your ShufflePod needs. It's all there.
All your ShufflePod needs. I love that.
All right, boys. Well, this was a good time.
Absolutely. You guys, until next time, have a great one.
All right. See
All
you
right.
later.